Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuvannmelitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Shrimate Radhanath Swami Namine. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadeshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Every spiritual master who is disciple of Srila Prabhupada, they all have exhibited some very powerful quality and have charmed the hearts and lives of, volume is very low. Actually, the other mic was good. Prabhuji, give me that mic. Hare Krishna. Is it good, this one? Yeah. Every spiritual master should be considered like one facet of a diamond. Yeah, Kohinoor diamond has how many facets? Multiple facets. So every spiritual master is like one facet which is exhibiting different colors. Orange, yellow, blue, green, red, like the different colors. But the diamond is one. Similarly, Guru Tattva is one, but various aspects are manifesting from different gurus. And there is one famous verse, Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Mande Jagat Gurum. That verse says that the Jagat Guru is Krishna, but he manifests through the mouth of various gurus in the Guru Parampara, who speak the truth in alignment with Krishna's will. Guru is like an amplifier for Krishna's voice in our hearts. So there is a director within, there is a director within and preceptor without, we say. Director within is super soul and preceptor without is spiritual master. So spiritual master is like an amplifier to the super soul. Whatever your super soul is telling you, he is speaking the same thing loudly. So by hearing that and following it in our life, we will become perfect very easily. So one of the things, very important things that Radheshyamdas Radhanath Maharaj emphasizes is that we appreciate his God brothers and express our respect and affection for them. So he has made a Vyasasana in Bombay temple which is long, you have seen that, where almost 8 people can sit, 7 or 8 people can sit, and he brings also many times. So when I became president in Pune temple 1997, Maharaj told, I asked for some instructions. So the first instruction he gave me, if you please my senior god brother, his name is Gopal Maharaj, Maharaj said, you will please me the most, he said. So after that I took it very seriously to my heart, that if I please him, he will be pleased. I understood that. So, and also, one of the things that I'm going to highlight today is 2 aspects. One is Maharaj being a community builder aspect. Another one is Maharaj being an unassuming leader. So one time Maharaj told some of the brahmacharis that next 1 week I am going to abscond with my cook, with my assistant, to one place so that I can daily chant 64 rounds. So Maharaj took his servant and went to Rishikesh. There he was staying in a mud. From there he told his servant, take me to the best spot in Ganga where I can chant 64 rounds at a stretch. So he showed him one, took him to a place where there was a rock, a big rock, so in the middle of the Ganga, where water is flowing on all sides. So Maharaj sat on the rock, and from early morning up to 12, he will finish 64 rounds. He will finish at a stretch. So 1 week he chanted daily like this. So that is one of his greatest delights in doing sadhana. following in footsteps of Lord Chaitanya. If you see, Lord Chaitanya would go in Jagannath Puri to the ocean side, where he would attested chant, 1 lakh names, 64 rounds, he would chant. Daily, it was his practice after taking darshan of Jagannath. So when Maharaj came back, it happened to be a Saturday, then Sunday he gave a lecture. And one devotee came running to Maharaj and showed in his mobile, Maharaj, we have got your photo in Rishikesh. You are sitting on a rock and you are chanting daily. Maharaj said, I wanted to escape from all of you guys and go there and chant peacefully. Still you guys somehow have got a photo and you made me a rock star. Said. Because a star sitting on the rock. I don't want you to popularize me like this, he was telling. So Maharaj would joke often. He has always a very witty nature. One very old man with a long beard came to Maharaj and said, Maharaj, when I hear your lectures, I feel you have become a Siddha Purusha now. Maharaj said, I am not Siddha Purusha, I am City Purusha. He said, I am living in Bombay city. So he would play with words like this. But he would never declare himself to be a liberated one or advanced one. If he says, Siddha Purusha, how did you recognize me to be a Siddha Purusha? He didn't ask. So he just joked it off. So therefore I was telling you, he is an unassuming leader who always, like a salt, hides behind the subject but gives taste to the subject. He always likes that type of being behind and doing some very wonderful service. And what he calls it as is facilitating the devotees to practice their devotion service. Maharaj says that we are here not to lord over devotees or boss over devotees. We are to facilitate devotees to perform their devotion service. And facilitate means one should always ask the question, how best can I serve in this situation? That's what every devotee should ask. Maharaj has said several times, how best can I serve? Sometimes the best way you can serve is to guide a devotee. Sometimes the best way you can serve is to be a friend of a devotee. Sometimes the best way you can serve is to connect the devotee to someone else who can guide the devotee better than me. Sometimes the best way to serve a devotee is not to disturb the devotee and leave the devotee. There are various ways you can serve. You may wonder, really? By leaving a devotee, how do you serve? Yes, sometimes we can become a stumbling block for a devotee to advance because our behavior is irritating the devotee and blocking the devotee's progress sometimes. So, therefore, how best can I serve? So this is actually the facilitating someone's devotional service. One day Maharaj was giving a Bhagavatam class in the temple, and the temple hall was jam-packed. After that, one devotee brought one big scientist from TIFR, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research in Bombay. They are all very, very smart fellows. They are internationally acclaimed figures there. So one fellow came, and then that fellow brought him to Maharaj and told Maharaj he is from TIFR, a scientist. He attended your lecture. And Maharaj asked, so how did you find my lecture from your scientific point of view? And my gentleman said, Maharaj, I had some questions. And after hearing your lecture, then he was bringing some questions. And Maharaj one-on-one answered him, maybe about 3-4 minutes. And Maharaj asked him, are you satisfied? Yeah, satisfied, all right, like that he was telling. Then Maharaj just looked around and he saw our Vrishabhana Prabhu was sitting in the seat in that extreme end of the temple hall. So he told one devotee, you can just call him. So he came. His Karmi name is, I think, Bhaskar Hosangadi, I think. And Maharaj said, see, here is Dr. Bhaskar Hosangadi. He's like a chancellor, vice chancellor or something. He has been in the chemistry department for more than 35, 40 years. You are asking some questions from that. So if you have a little chat with him, your question may be answered even better. So immediately he took him to the sofa and they had almost a half an hour, 45 minutes discussion. And Maharaj was chanting on the beads and going around the temple. Later on when they were about to leave, Maharaj came to both of them and asked to this TFR man, so how did you find his answers? He said, marvelous, he said. All my doubts are gone now, cleared now, he said. And Maharaj said, therefore I told you, he can speak in your language better than me, he said. So he is a spiritual master. but he knows how to facilitate devotional service of others. Because that everybody needs, just like I have seen Prabhupada also doing that. One time Prabhupada sat in a Vyasasana. They said there's going to be a lecture. Prabhupada said, who's the audience? Prabhupada will bring the audience, wait here, they said. And then they brought a lot of children, the Gurukul children. They brought some 25 children. Prabhupada said, I have to give lecture for them. They are so tiny. Many of them are like 3 years, 4 years old. Prabhupada said, yes, the best way I can give lecture is to give them cookies. So he told them to bring a lot of cookies and gave them, and everybody offered obeisances and said, Jai Prabhupada, and they went. That's the best way you can facilitate them. So one should know what is the best way I can serve in a given situation. Then I asked Maharaj, yes, now this point is clear that we have to facilitate. But what is the goal of facilitating? I asked. The goal of facilitating is to inspire. He said the best thing you can do to any living entity is to inspire them to come to Krishna. If you can inspire them, you have done the best service. You may say, I have given them knowledge. You may say, I have given them food. You may say, I have given them some accommodation facilities. But at the end of the day, have you inspired them in their Krishna consciousness to take one forward step towards Krishna? That's the best service you can do. So, how best can I serve? We have to ask and then render the service. And that service should inspire them to come closer to Krishna. So, in this way, he is a man of heart and is very intelligent in sensing the unspoken words and unexpressed emotions. He is very expert in that. There was one all counselors meeting happening in Bombay, so I happened to be there also. So there was one Mataji who, in the middle of the meeting, Maharaj was asking different people different questions, counselors. So any of you have any suggestions? So one Mataji said, Maharaj, we are very sad to note that in Chowpatty everything is there. Nice prasad, nice worship, nice, preaching everything. Everybody is happy except one category of devotees, the teenage children of the congregation. There is no one to care for them. They come with their parents to temple and they are just hanging around, running here and there. No one to care for them. I feel pity when I see them. They are in the teenage now and they are likely to get spoiled. Their whole future is dependent on how we take care of them. We are not taking sufficient good care of them at the moment. And we have so much intelligent devotees in our community. If we make a team of our congregation devotees to teach them and some brahmacharis to teach them, we can make a very good impact on their Krishna consciousness. And she went on speaking, almost 10 minutes she spoke. And Maharaj was nodding head and listening everything. And then after she finished, Maharaj asked everybody, how many of you agree with what she said? And everybody said, Hari Wow, they said. So Maharaj said, therefore we request Mataji, you become the in charge. Because anyone who is in charge for any department should strongly feel for that department. So those who have feelings for a particular service, like Vishwakirti Prabhu has feelings for Kirtan. Now, is there any manager required above him to make sure he goes every day? What do you think? Vishwakirti Prabhu, he is self-motivated, correct, no? In the same manner, Maharaj was telling that if you identify a person who has feelings for a particular service, then you don't have to follow that person. And Maharaj asked, how many of the devotees can bless her to take the service? And everybody said, Hari Bol, everybody said. And Mataji also had, she had tears in her eyes for the service given. And in those days, you can see now this Gopal Fund School is there. And the South Mumbai was not cultivated in those days, downtown. Now there are more than 200, 300 families there cultivated. And the children of congregation as well as a new congregation was created there, and Gopal Fund School, many things came up after that. So the point is, he is not only facilitating devotional service of all of us, he also inspires the leaders to also facilitate devotional service. Like he gave her the opportunity to give shape to something what she was very strongly feeling for. And that is how this community has grown like a big Vatavriksha, very big banyan tree. Because Maharaj is a very great encourager. He himself is a very great, like in English there is a word called coach. Coach means you don't give solution, you bring out the solution from that person's mouth who is bringing problem. Somebody is bringing, ex-devotee is going to bring you problems. You communicate and converse with the devotee in such a way that The same devotee who brought problem will come up with solution also. That is called coaching, we call it, or facilitating. So Maharaj teaches that. And as Maharaj is unassuming, he expects his disciples also to behave in such a role. For example, there is something called as influence without authority. What is influence without authority? There are many parts of the world Maharaj goes, and there are many people, devotees, who consider him their dearest friend, or they consider him their dearest worshipable devotee who can guide them. Maharaj is not in any authoritative role in those places. But people find a friend in him, and they come to confide with him, and learn lessons from him, and modify their life, and sort out their issue like that. So therefore, when we are in any role anywhere, Maharaj does not like us to quarrel with devotees, fighting for some position, fighting for some self-importance, fighting for proving our greatness. That would be really ridiculous, because Maharaj would never do that. Even if he is right, he would not try to prove that I am better than you. One time, when Maharaj's godbrother came to give a lecture in Chopadi temple, while giving a lecture, regarding this Shakti Avesh avatar, there are two in that, Sakshat and Avesh. He made some mistake regarding Parashuram avatar when he was talking. So some brahmacharis were looking at Maharaj, that Maharaj will correct. But he didn't correct. Later on, when we went to his room, one brahmachari said, Maharaj, he made one mistake while saying, he said Parashuram is some jiva who is empowered by Vishnu, something like that. And then Maharaj said, I didn't correct him because that was a technical detail. I thought that's not going to make a very big difference to people. People will figure out when they read the books, they'll find out. So he said, unless there is some major flaw in somebody, what somebody said, we don't have to unnecessarily correct and create an unpleasant atmosphere. He was telling. So he is in that sense very sensitive. Even though he is superior, he doesn't present his superior role unnecessarily anywhere, push himself forward. He wouldn't do that. So this was one of the things I was planning to speak. The other one, I'll say briefly, in the community development, when I went in 91, 92 to Chopari temple, what I observed was a very marvelous thing. Like I would go to the kitchen, all the Matajis would be sitting around sabji thing, cutting sabji, and also singing Hare Krishna. And all the Prabhujis will be sitting and they'll be rolling chapatis. And they will also be singing Hare Krishna. Everywhere you went, you heard people singing Hare Krishna. So in Pune also I came to know that every week they have one group cooking, coming and cooking. Like first Sunday, second Sunday, third Sunday, fourth Sunday, different groups would come and cook. And once in 3 months only, people will get chance. Their group will come. Multiple groups are cooking. So people will be longing for that Sunday, which will be our Sunday, we can cook. And everybody would invest their consciousness in singing the Hare Krishna mantra and cooking. But then over a period of time, we saw, when in Pune also we tried to start like that. Slowly the Mahamantra is not heard. People don't sing while cutting. Hey, do this. Hey, come here. Hey, go there. People are just talking. Hey, give me a knife. And people are talking like that. And slowly the service also stopped many times. And people, and it became very difficult sometimes to even get people to come on a Sunday and assist in cooking. You call 50 people and only 5 people will come. So why it happens? Because the nature of material world is to always go down. That's a tendency. So Maharaj's heart is to see that community members are very lively in their spiritual life. That they are eager to come forward and enter services like this. Maharaj said, a temple is not made of stones and bricks. A temple is, the real opulence of a temple is the temple's community members, the devotees. They should come and occupy the temple in the weekends. They should take lead in services like cooking, washing, cleaning, everything they should do. And Maharaj has made so many committees. Our Adikeshpu and his good wife, they were actually in charge of the marriage bureau. They have conducted more than 150 to 200 marriages by bringing a boy and girl together in the community and making announcement. Maharaj wanted Chopadi temple to be like one big family, where everybody should be taken care. So there is a marriage committee, there is a job committee, there are different committees like that. So people should feel that when I go to the temple on Sunday, it's like a home away from home. They should very happily come. And another very important thing, Tat Vijnanartham Sagurum Evavigachet. It said, Tat Vijnana, Tat means Krishna. If you want to learn about Krishna, Vijnan about Krishna, science of Krishna consciousness, one should accept a guru, it is said. So Maharaj is very keen that his disciples are rooted in the philosophy of Krishna consciousness and don't become sentimental or don't become careless or inattentive or don't get carried away by Maya. So one time when Maharaj had went to one of the satellite centers, one Mataji had cooked a lot of opulent items. And Maharaj told his disciples to eat. So many disciples took it. And then the Mataji came and cried and said, Maharaj, I am crying because you are not eating anything. You have told others to eat. And Maharaj said, I am crying that my disciples are not hearing my lectures and following the instructions. He said, because he said that there are many people who become my disciples, but then they get carried away by so many things and they don't, I am taking out my energy, time, and I'm investing it in speaking lectures on different Leelas, Krishna Leela and Gaur Leela and different things. But people do not hear that and they cause a lot of problems. Because if you don't do Shravanam in the association of devotees, you will eventually become weak and your standards will go down. You will start eating anywhere outside. You may start watching different things in your mobile. And because of not hearing and chanting, especially from the spiritual master, because spiritual master is one whose shelter we take and we take Diksha from him. And he is eager to give us instruction and purify us and uplift us and take us back to Godhead. So we should not neglect him. Nowadays we are hearing so many other speakers. For us, the two primary speakers for us is Srila Prabhupada and spiritual master. From these two people we should hear first. Over and above that, in order to surrender to these great personalities, Prabhupada and Guru, you can, as a support to that, you can hear from various other speakers. So, despite his ailing health, every year Maharaj has been taking yatra to Vrindavan or Mayapur. And in those days, we used to have 2 full weeks of katha, every evening, like 3-4 hours. But recent past, he's only giving about 1 week only. So, Maharaj's lectures are made available in recordings and everything. But in our fast-paced life, many times we are not able to hear. So we have to, if really say, I love my spiritual master very much, that love has to be exhibited through connection through the Shravanam. The spiritual master lives in his sound vibration and the follower lives with him. Prabhupada says. So you live with your Guru at his lotus feet through the medium of Shravanam. Ye tvutpadiyya charanam bhujakosha gandham chigranti karna vivarai shrutivata nitam bhaktya grihita charanaha parayacha tesham apaiti nat hridayam burhat swapumsam tvam bhakti yoga paribhavita hrit saroja asya shrute kshetapато nandanata pumsam yad yad dhyata urgaya vibhavayanti tat tat papu pranayase sadanugrahaya. These 2 verses are spoken by Brahma. He says, Lord's lotus feet is easily attained by one who takes in the sound vibration, Shrivatanitam. Just as the sound is carried by the wind, the sound vibration from the mouth of the spiritual master is coming, and one should hear that, and then that should go to the heart and transform our hearts, cleanse the impurities, awaken love for God, and that will bring us closer to Krishna's lotus feet, and you will find a place in the middle of Krishna's 2 lotus feet safely, like that Brahmaji is telling. So, this is one very important thing. The temple is built in sound vibration through the lectures, through the kirtans, through the services rendered along with the chanting of the holy name. And devotees enthusiastically coming together and dancing together in kirtan, chanting together, hearing together. So our head of a temple has been having a very good track record of, having 1,000 devotees coming on a Sunday, which is very unique to our temple. At the same time, it's sorry state that the attendance has not been very good in the last 1 or 2 years. In the attendance for, Gita Foundation 1, 2, and Bhakti Shastri, and Bhakti Vaibhav, all these things. Because now many of you get lectures in YouTube here and there. People think, anyway we can hear sitting at home, why to come to temple? But you will eventually see, we don't want to only have a big head and thin body. Huh? You may have a lot of knowledge, but you need culture, which you get in the temple. If you come to the temple, you bow down to the deity, you bow down to the devotees, you embrace the devotees, you dance with devotees, you sing with devotees, and that interaction is going to make you spiritually very healthy. So, strict attendance to the weekend programs to the temple will definitely please Maharaj very much. Because one time His Grace Dwarakadhish was asking Maharaj, Maharaj, you tell us which one, Sunday or the Sunday feast? Sunday morning Bhagavatam, or Maharaj said both. But then Dwarakadhish said, but Maharaj, after Bhagavatam, Sunday feast in the afternoon, whole day goes away, he said. But Maharaj said, what is the problem? Whole day you are with devotees. Maharaj was very strongly advocating coming for the whole Sunday in Chowpatty. Of course, those devotees come from Yera Road, they are very far away. And the point is, in this temple, that good culture has been there since last more than 2 decades, and we want to see it preserved. If you are a contributor in preserving that culture, you are doing a great service and you will be pleasing Maharaj. Because Maharaj's desire that at least once in a week all grihasthas should come together. Radhanath Swami Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.